Hi YouTube, it's Kathy, and this is my weekly entertainment wrap-up from September 12th through 19th. This week I read 2 books, I watched 3 shows, I watched 3 movies, and I listened to 1 book. We are in Winnipeg. We made it to Manitoba. We were in Ontario for too many days. I know you haven't seen that in these weekly wrap-ups, but Ontario takes a while to get through, and we finally got out of it today, and we're very excited about it. That's also why this is a little bit later than usual, because I had to wait until after we got to another province before I could even film it. The first book I read this week was Prism Stalker Volume 1. This is a graphic novel that is incredibly vivid in its use of colors, and it also has to do with basically colonialism in space. I didn't check into the lineage of the people involved in making this, but you can see direct parallels towards the colonization of North America. Basically, our main character is somebody who has been colonized, and then people decide that she's going to go off to one of these reservation planets, where she ends up having to basically go to a fight club, and if she washes out of that, she becomes part of the labor force, but if she doesn't wash out of that, I guess, glory, and perhaps her family back home will be taken care of. It's very unclear, because I don't believe that the people that are running this are actually going to do anything for her family, but there you have it. It was a pretty solid first version, and I would be willing to continue this series. The other book I read this week is something I picked up for Sci-Fi September as well as Demonathon, and that's Winter's Orbit. I had been hearing so much about this, but all I knew about it was queer, it was a male-male romance, and it was in space. That's basically all I knew, and let's be honest, that's all I really needed to know. This one has to do with a prince, and he's summoned to the Emperor's rooms, and she tells him that he has to marry this random dude. It's mostly because this treaty that gets renewed every 20 years is coming up, and for that to happen, one of the many things that has to happen is there has to be a marriage between somebody from the royal family and somebody from one of the other planets. It turns out that his cousin was married to this person from a different country, but he recently died in a plane crash, so basically they are scrambling to replace him so that that union still holds. This is dual perspective in that you get to see both sides of this arranged marriage and what's kind of going on in each of their heads. There's also some reveals that come up that I kind of called early on, but they are hidden enough that I could see how even the characters in the book, for example, wouldn't see them coming. This is also full of political intrigue, so if that is something that you look for in books, this is definitely one to pick up. On to what I watched this week. The shows were all sorts of random. We ended up watching the most recent episode of the Great British Baking Show, or whatever it's called over here. I think it is called that over here, but Bake Off in the UK because of Pillsbury's whole rights to that phrase. And this is always just delightful. I think you know by now that I like watching my food programming. Similarly, I also watched the first 3 episodes of a Netflix show called Breakfast, Lunch, and Dinner, where the host just hangs out with celebrities in a city and they get breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The first one was Seth Green in Vancouver, the second one was, I can't remember, but they were in Marrakesh, and the third one, I'm blanking on it right now. I know that the next one is going to be one of the gals from the Ghostbusters though, so I'm really surprised that I haven't gone right and back into it, but that's because of all of the movies we watched this week, which I'll get to in a moment. The person in Marrakesh was Chrissy Teigen. I just couldn't think of her name at the moment. I got it now. We also watched the very first episode of the limited series Dr. Death. I've been seeing advertisements for this everywhere. It's based on a true story. It's about this guy who was practicing medicine and doing a terrible job of it and killed a lot of his patients, and it's got a pretty stellar cast, so I'm interested to also continue that, which I think I might be able to do through the Global TV app. Because of course we watched that at my brother's house, and he has cable and I definitely do not. Something else of note is I happened to turn on the TV when we were in Sault Ste. Marie, and there was a Detroit Public Access channel on, and all I saw was LeVar Burton, and I was like, perfect, I'm gonna watch this, and then it just ended up being a program about authors talking about their books, and I had read a bunch of books by a bunch of the authors, so I was very excited about it, but Chad came out of the bathroom and was like, oh, a show about books, of course. I'm like, pretty on brand, that's what I do. As for the 3 movies we watched, I'm just going to talk about them all together. It was the first 3 Matrix movies, and I say the first 3 because a 4th one is coming out soon, which is why we watched these. I don't think I had ever seen the 2nd or 3rd ones before, and honestly, it's not worth it. Just watch the first one. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you what this is about either, because if you don't know what this is about, I don't want to spoil it for you, but also you probably know what this is about because it is a cult classic. As for the book I listened to this week, that was Axiom's End by Lindsay Ellis. Again, something that I picked up for the readathons I'm doing right now. This is also the first in what is going to be a trilogy, and I believe I have access to the second book, which I believe is also coming out sometime this month, maybe next month. I don't know. I don't know what time is anymore. I don't know what day it is anymore. This is just the life we live. Axiom's End is set in 2017, and it follows a girl named Cora who has a very difficult family situation. Her father left their family about 4 years previous because he was writing an online blog basically full of conspiracy theories and trying to take down the government and that type of stuff. So he has left and he is somewhere else in the world because he would be prosecuted if he were in the United States. This occasionally makes life difficult for Cora and her family because he keeps doing things and then people don't want to hire them for jobs, or the crazy conspiracy theorists always want to talk to them about how great their dad is, and they don't really like their dad because he abandoned them. On top of all of that, this is also a first contact story, so yes, aliens come into play in this story. I thought that this was a lot of fun. There were a couple of twists that I did not see coming. I also really enjoyed seeing what happened. This I could definitely see being turned into a movie someday. It was very cinematic in my head. So I'm very interested to see where it goes from here because it did sort of wrap up a bit. You're not left on a big cliffhanger, but obviously now that we know that there's other beings in the world that are intelligent and out there in space, that's going to play into the future of this character. That's going to be it for this week. I'm just going to keep it short and sweet because I want to edit this, caption it, get it online for you, and also I want to start drinking, so that's going to happen while I'm editing. If you've read, watched, or listened to any of these, let me know about it down in the comments below. On the way down to the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. If you don't feel like leaving a comment but want to make sure that I know you were here, just leave me an emoji or a smiley face if you happen to be on your keyboard. Some people have asked if there's a way to financially support this channel, so I set up a Ko-fi account, which is a digital tipping service. The link for that is down below, as well as a link to my PayPal or my Amazon wishlist in case you would like to buy me a book. You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you very soon. Bye!